Howdy, Pots and Patty here, and I'm just journaling, so come on along. This is the paper bag journal that I made under a set of prompts from Susan Hiles at Susan Hiles Art and Sheree at Turquoise Dreaming on Let's Use Paper Bags. And I had made this paper bag journal, and I decided that it would be my trashy journal. I was not going to put anything in here but trash. So since I made it, I did work on it, adding some painty envelopes. I did these with a jelly plate the other day. And then the last time I worked in here, I was working on this McDonald's bag and making folds and pockets and tucks and all kinds of things. I never did finish it. And tags. But there is a new set of prompts from Susan and Sheree this month, and it is about decorating your paper bag journal. So the first prompt for today, March 11th, is to put backgrounds on the pages and using, you know, your scrapbooking papers or painty papers or whatever kind of papers you have, wallpaper, and make backgrounds on the pages. Now my journal is kind of big because I've got two signatures here. So I probably will not get this all done today, but I'll work on it. And I'm going to add some backgrounds to a few of the pages, and this is a trashy, so I can only use trash for background. So I'm going to search through my bucket of old trash and find some things I can use, like old book pages and some painty papers and things like that. Some of the backgrounds I'm going to leave, like this. I think that's a perfect background that's going to stay. These white pages that were from the back of the bag, I can cover them with something for sure. Like this is plain. So that'll be this week, is to make the backgrounds. And then next week will be to make the pockets and tucks and folds and things like that. And then the last week will be to embellish them. So, like, this is pretty just the way it is. Pink. But this is white, so I could put something there. So I have some envelopes that these were mostly made by cleaning off my brayer when I was doing my jelly printing the other day. And I can use some of this paper. I could probably stencil on top and add a little bit more color to it. I'm going to leave that one. I might cover this one up. This one has a window. Although when I make these backgrounds, I might just go ahead and make some pockets and tucks, because these envelopes have windows in them. And I do have some music sheets, and I have down here on the floor just some things that are left over from swap and glues and just Happy Mail. This one's really pretty. So since these are left over, I was thinking about putting some of these in here. Now, for some reason, the last page I did looks very wintry, with snowmen and this dark blue, Christmassy-like paper. I don't know why. Oh, that's because I was looking out the window and there was snow on the ground, and I got hot cocoa and peppermint candies there and things like that. But it's the time of year where one day it's 55 degrees and the next day we get snow. So this is sort of like a transition journal, but it's a trashy journal, so everything will be in here. There'll be some spring and whatever I want to do. I really want to use this paper. Okay, so what I'm going to do is cut some of these. I love this blue here. Magazine pages to size, and then just start gluing them in. So I think I'll cut them off camera, and then maybe I'll come back and work. I love this picture of the candles from a magazine, but this is like that thin magazine paper that's terrible with wet glue. So I'm going to try a glue stick and see if I can get this down with a glue stick. I'm going to cover up this McDonald's bag here. I've been trying a lot of new things, new for 22. That was my New Year's resolution. And, but I'm kind of discovering, I kind of like to work in one journal, maybe a few days, and then move on to the next journal for a few days. I've been thinking I could do like, you know, Monday, one journal, and another journal on Tuesday, and another journal on Wednesday, like Trash Tuesday, Walk on the Wild Side Wednesday. And sometimes that works for me, and sometimes that's not working, because I may want to spend a couple of days with an idea in a journal. So I may adjust my schedule some weeks and spend a couple of days working in one particular journal before going to the next. I don't feel I've started too many things. I just feel like I may want to spend more time in each journal than one day. Maybe because I'm slow and I might want to spend a couple of days working on something. So once I get one particular journal out, kind of like to work in it for a few days. Well, let's see what happens. There are no rules to how you work in your journals. I hope this holds it down. This is Permanent Bond, Elmer's. It works really good on material, I found. Okay. Got it over here. Okay, this music paper is like the perfect size to cover this, but kind of bland, all white. So I think I may cut it to size and paint it up a little bit. Okay, somebody had sent me this old doily. I guess they used part of it. It had such a pretty pattern with the butterflies and the flowers. I decided to use it as a stencil. As you saw, I just splashed some watercolor on and then stenciled with that. And now this is ready to go over here, and I tried to use the pink and the orange and the bluish teal colors that was on this page over here. But that doesn't matter because it's a trashy. When you use the watercolor and then dry it, it gets nice and crinkly. Now my tendency is to work on a page until it is done, and not to do a bunch of backgrounds and then a bunch of pockets and then a bunch of ephemera. But I'm going to try this and see how it goes. This is only my trashy, so it doesn't matter anyway, right? Only the trashy. There's a lot of pages in here. There's no way I'm going to get everything done. Okay, so I have a magazine page and a music book page that I painted. So that's 2 pages done. And this one I might leave. I like those colors, but this one I may cover. Maybe I use some of these flowers on this page. Kind of go with those Dunkin' Donuts colors, don't they? Not that anything has to match. This is a trashy, and I am only putting trash in here. But who's to say trash can't be beautiful? Okay, I'm going to cut this down to size. You know what? I think, because these signatures are sewn in, that I can cover this page here and have it go right on to the next page. Like that. And like that. Okay, let's see how that turns out. Well, I think this is almost to the end, but I do have another one. I have some double-sided tape too. I didn't fold that in the right place, did I? Oh, this fold. There was a fold on the paper. I learned this from Linda D. Linda's Mixed Up Mess, queen of the trashies. How to be better at gluing. The art of gluing. Okay, background done. On that page. You know, I didn't start at the beginning, did I? Let's see. What can I put over here next to that pink? I could put this paper. This is not really trash, just something left over from Happy Mail or Swap and Glue. But it's so cute, I want to use it. I probably have scraps of scrapbook paper that I could put in here too. But I'm going to try stick to as much trash as possible. And I was thinking of doing everything spring, but then I went ahead and put those snowmen in. But, like I said, you can get snow in the spring, early spring, right? Oh, see, I just had to put that in. St. Patrick's Day is coming up. A lot of times it snows on St. Patrick's Day. I think St. Patrick's Day is traditionally the day to plant onions. I think it's onions. Onions. Now this I'll leave pink, but it'll become a pocket or a tuck or a fold or something at some point. I don't like these things here. I want to glue that. If I glue the fold and then put in two things, I like it much better. It's just too open. Okay, use the tacky glue on that because that's the paper bag. And then I put two cards in there. Okay, let's see. I'm going to go look for something else. Okay, this is left over from a jelly printing session. And this is a candy bag, but you know, it's not open on the top or the side on this part. So which way do I want it to go? So this is going to be a tuck this way. Got a window on that side. So I think I'm going to open it at the top here and put this on there. But you know what? It needs more color. So I think I'm going to get out those watercolors again. I did a little watercolor, and the acrylic paint that I used on the jelly plate acts a little bit like a resist, so you can still see some of that pattern. And then I went over it with this butterfly stencil from the Dollar Tree, sort of a tone on tone, pink on pink, but I had put a little bit of purple on there. And now it's ready to go on here, but I think I need to cut this first. If I can find my little scissors. I love to make a mess. I'm just going to cut a little bit of sliver, a sliver across the top. Because this is plastic, I think I'm going to use my double-sided tape to tape this on here. I bought all this tape at the Dollar Tree to specifically work on my Trashy. Because of all the different kinds of surfaces, paper, cardstock, cardboard, plastic, packaging. Well, I should try to staple something. Linda does a lot of stapling. And Mr. Possum gave me a stapler to use. I think it was mine to start with. I don't know. Sometimes he commandeers things, and then when I want to go borrow them, he thinks I'm asking to use something of his, when I know it was mine in the first place. Not that we need to have his and hers of anything. You know, when you're married, everything that's mine is mine, and everything that's his is mine. Isn't that how it goes? So I'm liking all the pinks and yellows. Feeling very spring-like. When we first moved here a couple years ago, I planted some, well, I'd actually bought a bowl. It had like daffodils and a tulip and a hyacinth in it, and mixed bulbs. And I put it out in the planter, and at the end of the season I planted the bulbs over by the stone wall. And they came up the next year and they look very pretty. I have to be careful because I have to find a high spot that doesn't get too soggy. Because when you put bulbs in the ground, they don't like to get too soggy. But then Mr. Possum put a shed right in front of the wall. And then when the flowers came up the next year, he's like, well, why did you plant them back there behind the shed where nobody can see them? I said, well, when I planted them, there was no shed there. So he moved them, and now they're starting to come up. And I'm surprised because a couple of them are in a soggy place. Oh, how pretty it looks with these papers behind it. Pink and blue, and pink, and bright pink. Oh, I could put something on here. Alright, so I kind of like this. Got my butterflies tone on tone. I've got pink over here. I think I'm going to be almost done for tonight. Except for maybe one more thing right here. I'll make this a little bit of a tuck. We go this way. Okay, this is not going to be a background. Because I was flipping through things that I could put in as a background, and I found this, and somebody sent this to me, and I've got to put this in here, and it will fit right in this window like that. Perfect. And this is the giant tag that I have for this card like this. So it's got to go on here. So I am going off track here to put this on here before I lose it. I want it on here, and I need to find something to put around the edges. Okay, this is really old stinky pieces of wallpaper that I got at a flea market. And let's see, I can use this for a background. It's not too stinky. I am going to paste this down and then cut it out and then put this on there. Maybe I'll even put it on the pizza side. So I'm going to use some strong glue. I had to put my bathrobe on to go down the basement. We have like the coldest basement in the world. And I think it's because of all the springs that run through the property. All that cold water running in the ground keeps the ground pretty chill. Here at Soggy Bottom, which is what I named the property. I used to call it Muddy Acres, but now I call it Soggy Bottom. I'm sniffing this. Doesn't smell too bad. It is very old wallpaper. Very, very old. Okay, this is too perfect around the edges, so this is somebody's artwork. Somebody's collaging. I don't know whose. But I'm going to make a rippy edge. And then that'll be it for tonight. That'll be it. But I may work some more on this tomorrow. And then I got to get ready for Slow Stitch Sunday. So I worked on this yesterday, today, and tomorrow. So that'll be 3 days. See, I like it. I like working on something for 3 days. This side's already ripped. There we go. Okay, what should I glue this down with? This is pretty shiny. I use the same thing I used on the wallpaper, which is this poster board. This Beacon poster board, coming out really slow because it's at the end. So today I was out looking at the daffodils that were coming up. And tomorrow's going to snow. And then next week it's going to be up to 60. So my sister sends me this text, which is really funny. Sisters like to be funny. Does Mother Nature be throwing out numbers like Powerball? 27, 54, 62, 17, 34, 47. And those are the real numbers. And they were the real numbers from the, you know, weather for the week. Ooh, big glob came out there. Just spreading it around with the tip of the applicator there. If I see this again, I'll have to get a couple more. Excuse to go back to the Dollar Tree. I put her more towards the bottom because this part of the tag sticks out. I'm pretty sure I did it right. Let's check. Let's check. Oops. Yeah. Very good, very good. I could even cut this a little bit if I wanted to. Okay, I'm gonna let that dry because I made that mistake last night. Putting something in before it was dry. And that was over here. I had stuck this in there like this when I was done filming. And I left it there overnight and it got glued in there. So I had to take it apart and then pull it out and re-glue it. It's still a little wet, so I'm not going to put that in tonight either. I will leave that out. And I will leave this out to dry. And I'm going to call it done, done, done for today. Oh, you know what? I didn't do something. That's okay. I'll do it tomorrow. I was going to put this fold-out thing right here. This is a Grandview Church of the Nazarene. This is for the Sunday worship service. So this is from Dolores. But I think it'll look good on this page. And then I can have a fold out. Alright, well that's it. Thank you so much for coming along today. Please follow the hashtag about paper bag journal pages for paper bag journal. And I will put the hashtag that you can follow and also a link to Susan Hiles at Susan Hiles Art and Sheree at Turquoise Dreaming. I will link their channels below so you can check out their wonderful journaling and crafty goodness. And thanks for coming along today. Bye-bye.